Good morning, Fleetwood. It is Friday, April 28th, 2023, day 3 in the 6-day cycle. Andrew Mayer PTC is planning a spring fair, and they are looking for student volunteers to help run each station. The fair will be Saturday, May 20th from 4:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. Duties would include taking tickets from students and giving out prizes. There also will be a movie on the lawn at 8 p.m. If interested, stop by the main office. Last week, we checked in with Sam Hebner about his Eagle Scout project. His hygiene supply drive is up and running. Support Sam by putting new or unused hygiene items in the drop box located in the main office. Last Wednesday was a school spirit day. We relived some highlights from Mr. Fleetwood last week, and this week Ian took a look at the rest of the festivities.
On April 19th, Student Council ran their last half-day for the 2022-2023 school year to raise money towards pediatric cancer for the Four Diamonds organization. After the morning of Mr. Fleetwood, students watched a dodgeball tournament, played Jeopardy in the auditorium, and enjoyed snacks provided by National Honor Society. In the dodgeball tournament, the heavy hitters came on top to win against 9 other teams. After the half-day, Student Council raised a total of $8,560.58 for the Four Diamonds Association. Reporting for Tiger TV News, I'm Ian Miller.
Thanks, Ian. Women's Empowerment Club will be holding its first annual color run to benefit Safe Berks on Saturday, April 29th, rain or shine. Check-in will start at 9:45 a.m. at the high school auditorium entrance, and the run will start at 10:15 a.m. Registration forms are available outside of room 9, and registration is also available through the QR code on advertisements throughout the school. Pre-registration is $20, and day of the race registration is $25. If you have any questions, please ask any Women's Empowerment Officer or Ms. Rankin in room 9. Last weekend, the high school hosted a Ms. Fleetwood community pageant to kick off the 150th anniversary of the town. Kelly stopped in to see what the whole show is about.
In Fleetwood, they are celebrating the 150th anniversary of when the town was created. They are planning to do a monthly-long celebration starting in April through December, kicking off with a beauty pageant. The girls, all ages, compete to have a chance to win Little, Junior, Miss, and Mrs. Fleetwood.
We have established the pageant tonight to be our first event so that these young ladies can represent our borough for the entire celebration then for the whole year.
Along the pageant, they show sneak peeks of the upcoming events of their celebration they are planning to do. Congratulations to the 4 girls who won in the beauty pageant, and thank you to everyone for participating in the pageant. To know more about the 150th anniversary events, go to fleetwoodborough.com. Reporting Tiger TV, I'm Kelly Abrina.
Thanks, Kelly. Stay tuned for more community events throughout the year to celebrate the sesquicentennial anniversary of Fleetwood. Attention seniors, please make sure that you look at your email. An email was sent before spring break about your plans after graduation, and these need to be done by today, so if you have any questions, stop by the main office. Back in February, a catastrophic train derailment occurred in Ohio. Kara takes a quick look at how our school might respond in the event of a derailment here.
On February 23, 2023, a train derailment took place in East Palestine, Ohio. The derailment, which took place on the train tracks owned and operated by Norfolk Southern, caused the East Palestine School District to close down temporarily because of the chemicals causing fires to arise. The idea to ask administrators if there is a plan in place if there were a derailment that caused chemicals to spread came from the fear of if this could ever happen here. After asking administrators, we found out there is a plan in place, and actually a plan for any incident to possibly happen in Fleetwood.
So, as far as all districts in Pennsylvania, we're required to have what's considered an all hazards plan. So basically it's a safety plan that encompasses a lot of different scenarios. Here in Berks County, we use what's called a all hazards plan. This is a copy of ours. Basically, it's just a binder of all different scenarios that have what would we do in case of.
The hazard plan that the Fleetwood Area School District would use for a situation similar to what happened in East Palestine would be immediately making people evacuate and making sure kids are inside. The school has multiple evacuation plans in place, no matter where students would be.
And we have evacuation procedures that take us, like if I'm an Andrew Mayer, can take us to other buildings, such as the high school or the middle school. Or we also have evacuation agreements with Kutztown University. So if it would be a situation where we had to evacuate our entire district, we actually have space at Kutztown University. We would go to Kutztown University. We then, in our plan, have what's called a reunification plan, which is how we communicate to parents, and then how we get parents to come out to KU to start picking up kids, and then how we're going to decide whether or not we're sending the kids home. Because obviously we're not going to evacuate to Kutztown University and then bus kids back into Fleetwood. So that reunification plan has to do with that piece as well. Part of the sheltering in place in the buildings is even make sure that we have water on site in all of our buildings in case there'd be a water contamination and we'd have to shelter in place for a period of time. We always make sure that we have a certain amount of food and water on hand in case of those types of events.
If you have any other fears of any incident that could happen in Fleetwood, don't worry, because there will always be a plan in place for everything. Reporting for Tiger TV News, I'm Kara Morris.
Thanks, Kara. Now let's check in with Ben for today's sports.
Thank you, Riley. In local sports, baseball sits at 10-5 and play Conrad Weiser at home tomorrow at 3:30. Softball has a record of 8-5. They play Conrad Weiser today at 4 on the road. Boys volleyball is 9-5. They played their senior night game yesterday at home against Reading, so be on the lookout for a spot on that coming out next week. Taking a look at national sports, the Sixers swept the Brooklyn Nets in round 1 of playoffs. Let's check in with the Jeff and Benny Sportscast for a little insight into how that went. Let's talk for a minute about the 76ers. We had Joel Embiid out for this past game with the Nets, out with I believe it's a right knee sprain.
Yeah, I believe so, yes.
I think they still coped very well. We had Tobias Harris. He really stepped up. He put up 25 points, 12 rebounds, 1 assist. Really filled the role, I felt like.
He did, yeah. We also had Paul Reed step in, I believe is his name.
Yeah, Paul Reed.
Perhaps I'm wrong about that. Yes,
Yep.
He stepped in, did an excellent job, did exactly what he needed to do. He got boards, he played defense. They didn't need a lot of points out of him because they already have other scorers.
Right. He came out with 15 rebounds.
Yes.
Which
Excellent.
is something they really needed. James Harden, he had 8 rebounds, 11 assists, and 17 points. I feel like he's really found his spot as more of a role player than a point scorer. He's passing a lot, finding guys who are open, letting them do the rest. Letting them do the finish.
Yeah, and that's great because earlier in his career, he was always a big point scorer, not really the assist kind of guy. Now he's assumed his role, but don't get me wrong, he can still score points when he has to.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Great finishes.
He was snatching ankles in that game. It was great to watch.
I was watching the highlights. There was like 3 or 4 times he just charged the paint, knocked the guy over, and scored.
It was great.
Definitely still a physical player. With their win last weekend, the Sixers advanced to the second round of the NBA playoffs, where they'll face the Celtics. The first round of the NFL draft ended last night with the Eagles taking defensive tackle Jalen Carter and linebacker Nolan Smith. The Phillies have been doing better lately, going 7-3 in their last 10, and they play the Astros tonight at 8:10. And that should just about wrap it up for this week in sports. Let's send it back to the news desk.
Thanks, Ben. Next, let's go to our weekly segments. Let's check in with Mr. Farr for a new edition of Random Ramblings.
Okay, so we have the Cup of Destiny here. I feel like Indiana Jones. Let's go. Let's see what we got. The best video game. Okay, just give me a second here. Well, okay. So the best video game has to, by far, be Fortnite. It has to. I mean, what other classic video game brings in pop culture, dancing, hiding in bushes, construction trades. I mean, come on. Fortnite, like every kid around the world is running around, trash talking, taking out their elders, and learning to build at the same time. I mean, come on. The future of the world is Fortnite.
The Day in History is back this week. Let's check in with Eli to see what happened.
On April 25, 1960, a large earthquake has flattened the city of Lar in Iran, with an estimated 400 deaths and another 450 seriously wounded. On April 26, 1991, a series of strong tornadoes struck Kansas, with the most devastating hitting the town of Andover, with the speeds of over 260 miles per hour. Hundreds of homes were destroyed, with more than 30 twisters ripping through Kansas. On April 27, 1958, scientists around the world are asking politicians to stop nuclear bomb tests, including Nobel Prize winner Dr. Albert Schweitzer. On April 28, 1986, Finland and Norway began reporting sudden high discharges of radioactivity in the atmosphere. The Soviet Union official news agency TASS said that there has been an accident at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine. That's all for this week in history. I'm Elijah Dove reporting for Tiger TV News.
Thanks, Eli. That's all we have for you today. Have an amazing Friday and a great weekend.